Scorpio Rising. This is your forecast for June 2013. Okay, Mars and the Sun are moving through your 8th house. And this is the part of the chart dealing with sharing with other people's money and possessions, with sex, with intimacy, with the unknown, and with death. And you will be very active, I think, in sorting out debts and money you owe to people. You will have dealings, maybe arguments with people in power, people who have control over you. These things you're going to be very, very careful with. With sex and intimacy, this is a very, very active time for you. You're going to be more active in your intimate and love life than you have been for some considerable time. Venus and Mercury are moving into the 9th house, the next house along, into Cancer. And this brings a chance for you to expand your knowledge and to maybe take up some new courses, to do some learning, maybe learn a language or something brand new, to adjust your faith, to take some trips and to make travels and to connect with people abroad, maybe to publish something. This is a really a time where you're going to be fascinated by learning and by foreign things. You're going to have a real tie and a real pull to these areas of your life. Neptune starts to move retrograde on the 7th of June, and wherever Neptune moves retrograde, you can start to sort things out, inadequacies in your own life, and find out the reasons why things aren't quite working as they should. And now Neptune sits in your 5th house of affairs of the heart, of creativity, of children, of hobbies, and entertainment as well. And so you might find that your attitude to children is not quite right, and so therefore you have to go back and review how you're dealing with them. But in the same things, you might find your love life is not very active, and your lover is not quite there, and maybe you will have to change things around in that part of your life. Maybe you'll review how you relate to that special person you're with. Maybe now you can get inspiration to create and to take up new hobbies and to adjust the way you do those sort of things. I think it's a really creative time now for you, Scorpio Rising, and with Neptune in that 5th house, you can really go to town and bring some wonderful creations to the fore. Now we move on to the new moon, which occurs a day later on the 8th of June at 8 degrees Gemini. And this again occurs in your 8th house. And maybe you can set up a new financial way of doing things so that you can sort out your debts and the finances you owe to people. Or maybe you can make a deal with somebody in power to improve your life. Maybe you will get a new lover in your life. It's quite possible. And a new moon. New moons mean new beginnings. On the 10th, 11th and 12th of this month, we have two separate formations coming together. We have a groundwater trine from Saturn in your 1st house to Neptune, which I've spoken about, in your 5th, and to a conjunction of Venus and Venus and Mercury and the Moon, all in your 9th house. So this makes a grand trine, and that triple conjunction of Venus, of Mercury and the Moon also make an opposition to Pluto and a square onto Uranus. Now there's going to be a lot of focus on learning and faith, as I've mentioned before. This will be very much in vogue on the 10th, 11th, 12th, and relationships with people around that. And you also need to bring new emphasis into your life and fresh new energy, and that will come through Uranus in your 6th house. So whether that means updating your fitness regime, or your health, or your everyday routine, or the people you work with, bringing new energy in. Maybe things will happen in this part of your life which will change things around and make things better for you. I hope so, anyway. 16th and 17th of June, we have a Sun-Jupiter connection at 25 to 27 degrees Gemini. There's a conjunction here, and this will occur in that 8th house, and this is an aspect of expansion, and so therefore you may want to go out and get a loan, chance to go out and deal with those financial institutions and secure your financial situation, or your intimate life may expand at this time. Maybe a really good time, or you may want to find out secrets and expand on what you know. You might be interested in life after death, or taboo subjects like the tarot or astrology, for example, that I do. Full moon comes along on the 23rd of June at 2 Capricorn, and this occurs in your 3rd house. And you might get full moons are the end of a cycle, the end of a lunar cycle, when no more light can hit the moon at that point. And there may be a letter or communication now which signals the end of a situation. You might find that issues with your brothers and sisters become rather more important than they were in the past. Also with neighbours and people in your local community as well. You might have to make some enforced travel arrangements or trips at this point in time. Finally, Mercury moves retrograde on the 26th of June. Now, Mercury starting to move backwards in that 9th house might mean that you have to adjust your beliefs, or do something, or maybe there will be a problem with a course that you're actually doing at the time, or maybe there will be a legal issue that comes up that you have to deal with, or maybe there will be miscommunications between yourself and people abroad, especially if you're travelling, that is, or if in your travel arrangements maybe things will go slightly awry. So you really have to be aware that the next 3 weeks from the 26th of June onwards, things in these areas of life may not go as you want them to.